Now, as I said, like I might go for implementing this particular RESTful service with the help of .NET, that's by using Web API, or I might go for any Java way of doing web service. But instead of going for this, as we would be using a JavaScript, we need to understand a few things prior to this. That's all about these things which I have highlighted there. That's about the Node, Express, MongoDB, and something about the Mongoose. So MongoDB and Mongoose is just because I am going to make use of some kind of database to store the data to do the CRUD operations. So if you talk about a node, why do you need to go for a node first of all? See, frankly speaking, if you talk about something like this, I'm just going to have one JavaScript files. So here if I create a new file, that's a new file which I'm going to say console.log, and in a string I would be saying here something as a hello world. If I save this file, let's say with the JS extension, and if I try to open this file in a browser, do you think I'm able to open that file over there? Do you think my browser is able to handle that file? Just a second. So as the way I said, like I'll be using a Visual Studio Code. I just have created one folder on my D drive and I'm just trying to open that. And let me have one file in this particular folder. So I'm just going for a hello.js. What is that file going to have is basically, as I said, like console.log, and that's going to say here something about hello world. So if you talk about this particular file here, that is hello.js in this particular folder. If I just try to do something like this, I launch any particular browser and I try to open this hello.js over there. Is my JavaScript is to be handled by the browser? So actually speaking, no, it is just trying to show me the whatever the code that I have written over there. So browser is able to take care of JavaScript file if and only if that particular file is being added as a part of HTML in the script source attribute. Otherwise browser is not able to take care of this. So that's okay, that's fine. Like I would be just going for HTML file with the script tag and having the source and specifying this file, and then I might be using the code which is available over there. Now basically JavaScript code is always being taken care of, always being parceled or always being compiled at the browser level. What if I would like to take care of this at the server side itself? What if I want to execute, or what if I want to process this particular stuff outside the browser? So I need to have some mechanism by which I could process this stuff at the server side. So definitely to handle the JavaScript at the server side, I need to make use of something called as Node. So if you have a look at the website called as a NodeJs.org, in this case, this NodeJs.org gives us a setup by which we can download the node. So if you have a look at this, this is version 4.4.2 LTS and other one is 5.10.0 stable. So if you go for this one, the stable, it gives you the latest features, but that is basically used if you are in a development phase. But if you are going for a production phase, it's preferable you should go for the LTS. LTS stands for it's a long time support. So it's not like you're even if you go for this, you won't be able to work with that. You could, rather you would be having some new features, but those are not actually stable in all sense. So preferably if you're going for a production way, preferable to go for a LTS. In a development phase, it's fine to go for a stable way. Now actually speaking, when you download this stuff and when you install it, it's gonna install three things for you. So it's node.exe. That node.exe is nothing but a kind of runtime that you would be having. Then along with this, you would be having node.js. It's a kind of, like from Java perspective, it's a JDK. From .NET perspective, it's a .NET framework. Node.exe is a kind of runtime. So from .NET perspective, it's a CLR. From Java perspective, it's a kind of JVM. So node.exe is there, node.js is there, and along with that, you also have something called as a npm. Npm is a node package manager. So that's a kind of server-side package manager, which allows you to install the many things, like whatever the kind of other dependencies that you would be having. So later on in this particular application, we would be going for something called as a Express. So basically, Express is nothing but it's a kind of flexible Node.js web application framework that provides a kind of some kind of robust set of features to develop web application as well as the mobile application. So we'll be having some kind of routing table. So the routing is going to be easy in this scenario. It helps you to set up some kind of middleware to respond to your HTTP request. It allows you to dynamically render HTML pages, a kind of MVC application where you would be generating the views. You will be having a communication with the controller and the view. So those things are to be taken care of by this particular web application framework. That's nothing but the Express. So when you want to use that particular Express, that needs to be installed at your application level, or that is at the folder level, that is at the local level. So for that we would be using something called as a npm. So whenever I download this and install that stuff, I would be getting three things. One is a node.exe. That's a kind of runtime. So if you compare with the Java, it's a JVM. If you compare with the .NET, it's a CLR. You would be getting Node.js or Node.js. It's a kind of JDK. It's a kind of .NET framework. And along with this, you also have npm. So npm stands for Node Package Manager. So when you deal with the node, we are basically going to have two package manager. One which is basically used at the server side, that's a Node Package Manager, npm. There's one more you would be having, which is basically used to resolve the dependencies which are required at the client side. That's nothing but the bower. So node is basically for the server side package management, and bower is basically for the client side package management. So if you try to compare this npm from the .NET perspective, we have a NuGet package manager. For Java, something of that sort you would be having, right? Then as I already talked about this, like we would be using something called the Express. Like I just want to have some kind of minimal web application framework that would take care of routing, that would take care of like some mechanism by which I would be able to respond to the HTTP request, that would take care of like allowing me to dynamically render the HTML pages or the kind of HTML view based on the passing arguments to the templates. So for that reason, I will be using Express. Again, it's a simple web application framework that's available over the node, and that provides me some kind of robust set of features to develop web and mobile applications. Then there is another thing that we would be going to make use of is nothing but a MongoDB. So MongoDB is a cross-platform document-oriented database that provides high performance, high availability, and easy scalability. So it basically works on a concept of collection and document. Like in case of RDBMS, we are going to have a tables, and then those tables are going to have a rows or the records. So here, instead of that, here we call the table as a collection, and the row which is inside that table is going to be a kind of document. So in MongoDB, as compared to the RDBMS, the database is called as a database. The table which is there in the RDBMS, here we call that as a collection. The row which is there in the RDBMS, here we call it as a document. The column that we have in RDBMS, here we call that as a field. And such a way we would be dealing with the different things over here. Now again, we need to take care of these things by, like, these are kind of different packages we will be dealing with. The when you talk about Express itself is a third-party node module, so that needs to be installed prior to use it. Same thing is about MongoDB. Now, like if you are from the .NET background, like you must have used something like a SQL Server, and to communicate with the SQL Server, you must definitely have used ADO.NET as a technology. So in such a scenario, if you are going for ADO.NET, you yourself have to write a lots of code in that. Instead of that, we can simply make use of a ORM, that is object relational mapping. So for .NET, if you talk about ORM, we have link to SQL, as well as even if you would like to go for any other database than the SQL, we are also having an entity framework. So same way, if you would like to use such kind of ORM along with the MongoDB, we are having Mongoose for that. So this Mongoose is nothing but a kind of object modeling tool designed to work in an asynchronous environment. So in simple words, whatever is Hibernate for Java, whatever is entity framework for .NET, Mongoose is here for the MongoDB. It's a object modeling tool designed to work in an asynchronous environment, because anyway the whole node itself is going to work with the asynchronous environment. So I believe, like, let's preferably start with the implementing this RESTful service. Prior to that, if you have any questions, please use a chat panel and feel free to put your question there.